In January of 2011, Greg Stott was jumped by a group of 14-year-olds in Dundee, Scotland. He was walking home from the cinema, and he was surrounded by a group of kids, and they just unprovoked assaulted a grown man walking home at night. This story just didn't seem to add up to me. Kind of had questions, I wasn't sure. But then Greg started harassing me, and he wouldn't quit. And he thought it was a fun little game. And he would post videos pretending to be some sort of victim of harassment and like kind of have a smirk, all while he was harassing me. I asked him nicely to quit a few times. He wouldn't. He posted videos of me without my permission, and I asked him to take them down, and he wouldn't. I've heard Greg's version of the story. I've read his blog. I have also read the newspaper articles, and man, they just seemed very skewed. They didn't. No one gave the boys that were involved a chance to say what they had to say in any of the newspapers. The picture was already painted before they went to court. The one thing I just didn't understand, and I keep going back to, is why? Why would a bunch of kids do something like this to someone? Well, in this documentary series, we will explore exactly what happened that night, from both sides, including Greg's and the boys that were involved that ended up being incarcerated over this, as well as I will put some of my own theories out in the air that I believe these boys' lawyers should have done. Join me, shall you? Well, this is how it all began. A little joke. Greg asked me to collaborate, me explaining I'm not gay, but then I quickly retorted with, I thought collaborating meant something else. You'll be crying on count of all you're lying. Oh yeah, just look who's laughing now. I'm gonna walk like a man fast. That's when the harassment began. What Greg would do is block me and then unblock me, just so he could come leave little snide comments on my videos. He would quickly delete the comments so no one could see them and they would only show up in my inbox, or he would quickly block me again. This, I believe, started because he thought I liked a girl that he liked. He kept referring to me as a fat ass, which I've made reference to a few times in live streams. I think Mr. Greg knew exactly who he was talking to.
darkest hour. It was January 20th, 2011. I decided to go along to Dundee's Sign World. Went around to the cinema. It was around 10:30 p.m. I went around to the McDonald's for my coffee fix. Ordered myself a large latte. Towards the underpass I go, and I can hear the sounds of a very loud and boisterous group of youths. And then I saw them. Two of teenage girls appeared behind me, throwing insults towards me. I stopped, I turned and looked at them and said, "Why do you have to speak that way to people? You need to watch yourself. One of these days you're going to say something to the wrong person." It didn't go down too well. Now the rest of the group's attention was all on me, and they started to surround me. I called the police. The gang started circling me, getting right in my face. The operator said I should stay right where I was, that police were on the way. The first kicks were at my legs, stomach, punches to the back of my head. Someone spat on me from behind. I was also wearing one of my favourite black beanie hats, and it was quickly grabbed away and tossed around the gang like it was a football. Another punch was aimed at me and knocked the coffee out of my hands, and some of it was on me and my assailant. He even had the cheek to claim that I had thrown boiling hot coffee all over his face. I tell you what, as I look back now, in hindsight, trying my best to defend myself and fend off my attackers, I actually managed to grab one of them at the bush and give him a right good punch in the face. I hope he woke up with a shiner for all his troubles. It was right about that very moment I lost my balance and fell to the ground. Kicks and stumps came flying at me with ferocious speed and frequency. I was helpless, and I cried out for mercy. I tried my best to cover up my face, and at this point I had given up all hope. I had decided I was going to die. What a way to go out at the hands of these mindless thugs. The lowest of the low, and the gang cheered on. One of them even shouted, "You could have fucking doing!" I sheepishly made my way up to the bus stop. Then I looked to my left, and two of the gangs reappeared. One of them had a glass bottle in his hand. He was shouting and swearing. "Come on then. You think you're a fucking hard man. Me and you. Square go." Moments later, a police car arrived. I was taken by ambulance to the ER until my mum and dad arrived.
I believe the key is in the coffee. Greg went and ordered a large latte for his quote-unquote coffee fix that night. Intentional or unintentional?
I was taken by ambulance to the ER until my mum and dad arrived.
I believe the key is in the coffee. Greg went and ordered a large latte for his quote-unquote coffee fix that night. Intentional or unintentional, I believe the coffee that was thrown on 14-year-old Maxwell was what started the whole thing. I believe until this point, the fight had not escalated to much more than taunting. It was 36 to 30 degrees out that night, so just around the freezing mark. Greg walked about 1,200 feet from the McDonald's before engaging the boys. We all know McDonald's has hot coffee. But how hot was that coffee? If you saw somebody throw hot coffee, or coffee for that matter, on someone you are standing on the street with, how would you react? Let's just say this McDonald's coffee had cooled down. The human body on such a cold winter's evening in January, being doused with liquid, would respond in such that it would feel as if it was hot liquid, almost boiling. This is called paradoxical heat. This can be experienced by going into your kitchen, turning on the faucet, putting your hand under hot water, and it feels cold, or vice versa. I believe that the sensation of even lukewarm coffee on a freezing night, temperatures between 30 and 36 degrees Fahrenheit, would have felt, or seemed, or appeared as boiling coffee.